Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. This is The Clash. We are in September, the final month before the Confederation of the Territories wrestler rankings are rejigged and reconfigured, and that means there's a lot on the line tonight for Roderick Remus, who is going one-on-one with Super Ninja Tomohiro Oto, 5-time Cruiserweight champion in Total Championship Wrestling. Big name, California legend. He will be in action later tonight against our local Roddy. Also on the show tonight, it has been announced that Ash Campbell is getting a big opportunity as he takes on the monster, the machine, the big bad wolf. It's George Wolf tonight, ahead of George Wolf's big match with Christopher Ball at Where It All Begins Again next month. Also confirmed mid-month is, of course, that we are going to have our main event of Where It All Begins Again will be Island Boy Apollo, the Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion, defending his title against Clark Alexander, his mentor, his former tag team partner. The guy who he has a very fundamental ideological difference with. We'll be getting more into that next month at the big show itself. Other than that, not too much news, although there have been rumblings that that American Elemental is going to have is going to debut a new tag team partner tonight. It's maybe not a long-term tag team partner, but he has a tag match tonight, and his tag team partner will be a debutante. Also tonight begins the start of the second annual Hot Prospects Tournament. The bracket you are now seeing on the screen: American Elemental, DeAndre Bailey, Zachary Tunks, Flattenberg, Johnny Needham, Wesley Vibert, Solomon Gold, and Riley Patton. The only criteria for this tournament, of course, is that you have only been wrestling for 3 years or under, and this year we're going to be doing it in the opposite order, which means we're going to be seeing Johnny Needham versus Wesley Vibert and Solomon Gold and Riley Patton tonight. We're going to be seeing American Elemental and DeAndre Bailey and Zachary Tunks and Flamberg at next month's show. Then in November we'll be checking out the semi-finals, and in December we will be having the finals of the 2017 Hot Prospects Tournament. That's the news done. We're in the Mid-Atlantic. One more news item is that the American economy is recovering, guys, so don't worry, it's on the up. And hopefully we will start to see more financial benefits from that. Aside from that, let's get into The Clash, the big show. I'm ready. I forgot to do something, so I'm going to show you the bracket again. This is genius, this bracket thing. Absolutely genius. And there you go. Is that all good? Yes, it is. Awesome. Look at that. Seamless. Who needs editing? As we start off with the first Hot Prospect Tournament match, Johnny Needham defeating Wesley Vibert with a beautifully executed moonsault. Johnny Needham is, of course, noted as having a beautiful moonsault. Look how many people we got in tonight. Hopefully next month will be a similar success. Beautifully executed moonsault. Johnny Needham has a trademark moonsault almost as good as TW Gaming, aka Charles's moonsault from the wrestling RPG we do, where Yosuke Narita taught him a wonderfully executed moonsault. As we move into the second quarterfinal match, which does slightly better, is Solomon Gold, who's already debuted, of course, defeating the debutante in Riley Patton with a gold standard sleeper hold. Solomon Gold, a quick technical grappler, although he stands 6'5", the hillbilly heartthrob. He is a quick-paced grappler from the House of Stone, has already made his debut for North of the Border Pro Wrestling. We're lucky to have him here in our Hot Prospects Tournament, and we wish him the best and hope he goes quite far. As we move into an angle where American Elemental debuts just this, he's not that tall, he's 6 foot-ish, very ripped, wonderful body, looks like just, he got this curls, this wonderful blonde hair, and the ring announcer calls him the Patriot, the All-American boy, Eric Lee. And Eric Lee debuts to help out American Elemental here in his tag team match against a pair of jobbers. And of course they win. Because they defeat Aid Nelson and Trix Triumph when Eric Lee defeated Aid Nelson with a Patriot Slam. Good debut there from the All-American boy, Eric Lee. Good tag team match. Get the crowd hyped as we move into our latter end of the card. George Wolf taking on Ash Campbell. And in our main event of the evening, Roddy will take on the invading Tomohiro Ota. So we have a backstage segment on the DVD, and it will be uploaded to the Mid-Atlantic website mid-month, where the Architect is backstage and he says, "Boss, I haven't been booked yet for Where It All Begins Again. And I know I've had a down year for me. I know I've had better years, but I still think I deserve a chance. I am one of the must-see superstars in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and if people don't know I'm going to be on the show, I think the show will have less people coming to it. I think people see the Architect on the show and they think, wow, big star, Hollywood name, A-lister. And people need to see the Architect on the show with a worthy opponent." And Boss Man says, "You know what? You're right, Architect. You are an A-lister of sorts, and you do deserve a worthy opponent. So I'll book you for the show, and I'll find you a worthy opponent." And Architect's gonna have a match at Where It All Begins Again. So we move into George Wolf, who is backstage. No, he gets this in the ring. He gets on the mic and says, "Next month I take on Christopher Ball." I won't deny that he's had a wonderful year. Christopher Ball left MMA last year on a 3-match win streak. He was fired on a win streak. He says it's because of politics. I think it's because he's a jackass. But he left on a win streak. There's no way you can deny his quality. But you can't deny mine either. I am 37-0 in 2017. I am on the win streak of a lifetime. I have more momentum than many people in MAW see in a lifetime. And quite frankly, if you have an immovable force just going too fast, having too much momentum, there's just no way to slow it down. And there's no way to stop it. And tonight, Ash Campbell, you're going to find out that there's no way to stop the immovable force that is George Wolf. And there is no way that Christopher Ball is going to stop the force that is George Wolf. And in our semi-main event of the evening, Ash Campbell does indeed lose to George Wolf in an even match with a spear. Now, this match is particularly brutal. Ash Campbell just gets destroyed. I mean, it is an open match. It's quite narrow, but when Ash Campbell is not on offense, he's getting brutalized. We're talking really stiff shots to the head here. Ash Campbell looks loopy at the end of it. Like, again, he was in it for a lot of it. He had control. But when he wasn't on offense, he was taking a lot of damage. He was taking a lot of damage off offense, which was definitely difficult to stomach for Ash Campbell. And in fact, after the match, he's looking particularly dismayed, and he gets on the microphone and he cuts a promo. And he says, "I don't know if I can keep doing this. Twice now I've come up short in brutal matches. And I don't know if I can do what is expected of me. I love you guys, and I want to represent you, and I want to be something different and a force for change in this company. But I just keep suffering, and I keep taking pain, and I just don't know if I can do it. I want a real wrestling opponent. I don't want to be in there with some brutal, giant, destructive force. I don't want to be in there with a brutal, hardcore bastard who just wants to rip my flesh off of me. I just want a real wrestling opponent. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep doing. The lights go out, and a hooded figure appears on the stage. A spotlight shines down on him. He rips off the hood. And Giant Brody was the hooded figure. He walks down to the ring. Ash Campbell seems confused. He doesn't get out of the ring. He just stands there, confused. Big boot. Picked up. Brainbuster. Picked up. Powerbomb. Picked up. Big boot. Just destroyed by Giant Brody. Giant Brody, I mean, I don't know if he has a personal problem with Ash Campbell. Don't know if he has a personal problem with what Ash Campbell just said. Or whether he just picked Ash Campbell to be his victim because he happened to be in the ring. But Giant Brody is back. And if the vignettes are anything to be believed, he's been tracking Island Boy Apollo. More on this next month as we move in to our main event of the evening. Fumihiro Ota, hot, exciting cruiserweight, was 5-time cruiserweight champion in TCW, an independent legend, 2 spells with Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling, just came out of a long-standing Coastal Zone Championship reign. Can he defeat our resident Roddy, or will Roddy's momentum continue on the final day before the wrestler re-ranking? In our main event of the evening, in 57C-, Roddy defeats Fumahiro Yota by submission with a Remu's clutch. As Fumahiro Yota hurt his nose. Not very good at all. But Roddy does indeed pick up the victory. He has now beaten the Wrestler Rankings number 4 and the Wrestler Rankings number 3. An impressive set of victories. However, the number crunchers are at ringside. The Confederation of the Territories number guys are there at ringside on a table, and they're crunching and they're checking. And Roddy goes to check, and the general gist of what seems to be going on at ringside is that Roderick Remus has not made the top 5. Roddy isn't even on the top 5. For, 2 victories is just not enough to propel someone from unranked to the top 5. And Roddy looks a little pissed for a second, and then he grabs a mic. And he gets on the mic, and he says, I don't give a shit about the rankings. I don't give a crap about what number I am. It's not, wrestling isn't about precise numbers. Sometimes in pro wrestling you can't predict everything that's going to happen. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things happen that you don't predict. Like my brother getting into a car accident. I didn't predict that. But I made something out of my career anyway. And I don't care whether I'm ranked or unranked. I don't give a shit. I won a World's Heavyweight Championship shot because I beat some of the best in this business. I beat Fumahiro Oda tonight. And that guy is tough. That guy is hardcore. And I beat him tonight in a close-fought match. Last month I beat Bulldozer Brandon Smith, one of the best competitors in MAW history, let alone the territories. I know that people just don't get given title shots, but give me one chance, Sam. Give me one chance, board. Whoever's listening from the Confederation, because I know you guys watch these shows like hawks. Give me one chance. Next month, the big show. It doesn't even have to be that much of a chance. Just give me a match. Roddy Remus versus Nicholas Lopez. That's a Where It All Begins Again match. Just give me that one chance. Please. This is all I got left. Please. Just give me a chance. And Roddy doesn't really get an answer. He has to put down the microphone and kind of walk off. But a couple days afterwards, on the Mid-Atlantic website, it is announced that at Where It All Begins Again, Roddy will be able to take on Oli's own Nicholas Lopez, who is definitely a high-ranking wrestler in the territories, and a win there surely puts Roddy in perfect position for a World's Heavyweight Championship shot against Bradford Peverell. Ladies and gentlemen, next episode is Where It All Begins Again. Next episode, you will see Roddy take on Nicholas Lopez. Our main event of the evening, Island Boy Apollo defends his regional championship against his former tag team partner, Clark Alexander. The World Tag Team Championships are on the line as the Ring Generals take on Rich and Famous. And the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tag Team Championships are on the line in a ladder match. For the first time in MLW history, a tag team ladder match between the Aces of Mayhem and the Dynamite Express. Also, the Hot Prospects tournament continues with American Elemental taking on DeAndre Bailey and Zachary Tunks taking on Flamberg. And finally, the Architect will be taking on a worthy opponent. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're feeling especially generous and really like the episode, check out the Patreon links in the description. If you want to have any creative input on the series, my Twitter is usually the first place I go to. Link to that is also in the description. And I really hope you join me next time for the biggest show of the year, Where It All Begins Again. Please do. And if you do, I'd be honored. And I'll see you guys then. Peace out.